Welcome to Journey Through the Gate, your paranormal portal podcast, as we delve into the many questions and wonders brought on by the supernatural experience. What's on the other side of the gate? Let's find out together.
Hold on, baby. I got you. Welcome to the Hot Mess Express, everybody. As you all well know, gatekeepers, I love each and every one of you in here. Oh, thank you, Renice. I appreciate that very much. Happy early birthday to me. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I feel like, at about 10 a.m., I was starting to feel like I was about 35. And then along about 4 o'clock, I started to get back up to 50. And I think I reverted back to 13 for about 5 minutes there, got whiplash, and popped right up into about 75. So it depends on what part of the day you ask me, and on how old I feel. You're only as old as you feel. But I'll tell you what, when you got this kind of love and this kind of chat and this kind of podcast with these wonderful guests, you can't help but feel good. Dark Horse Paranormal, I see you. We are going to get you scheduled. I had a cattywampus kind of week. Forgive my tardiness, but Lynn is doing great as being co-host and wrangling everybody. I'm going to say hi to everybody, but I want to get my co-host in here. Lynn, if you're ready, nod toward me. Okay, she ready. All right, here we go. The wonderful Lynn Monet, everybody. Author, so many things that you know her for, but foremost, come and get your love, Lynn. That's what we're talking. Yay! Bacon for everybody. Lots of love for everybody. We're starting off the new year with love and light, right, babe?
That's right. Yes, absolutely. The more you put out, the more you get. So
how's it been so far? It's only been what, 8 days, 9 days? You think we're going to be able to? So far, so good.
Yeah, it's been okay. I got my cast off. I still propping my leg up, so that's why we're still in Lynn's kitchen. But all things are good. Yeah, and
we got to talk about that cooking show.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you and I had a conversation a while back about bringing some new light into some of the things, because it seems like, other shows, it's all the same information being told by a different person, and bringing in some brand new stuff that's different, is always a good thing. And so that's what you wanted to do. So that's what we're doing.
And it's so cool because this week, Lynn, I'll tell the truth, I was a titch stoned. My hands were killing me. I had made so many bows over Christmas, and again, I'm so grateful that so many people got centerpieces and Christmas things and poinsettias with bows and just all this. But my poor old hands, man, I'm telling you what. So that's why I was wearing a little, whatchamacallit. I'm much better. That CBD cream really helps, but you really got to stay on it. And of course, cat's paw and everything else. So we're all herbalists here, and we try to go the natural way. But man, I'm telling you what, uh, there was a couple nights there, and Lynn was raring to go. She had all this stuff, and she's hit me with dates, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it because I want to do for the chat. Just like Lynn said, we want to get wonderful people in here. But there's something I'm finding out, Lynn,
What's
that you're getting with people at this level of consciousness. I see, we're all still learning. We're all getting little pieces. We're like, oh man, that's where it goes. Okay, click, snap. Another piece goes into place. I'm so excited for this year and for the knowledge that we're receiving from guests, receiving from chat, receiving from spirit and universe, sending us people our way. Because she said this lovely woman that we are going to bring on. I'm excited. I'm just like bursted. I tried not to delve too deep because a couple of times I dipped in and I heard a couple of her podcasts and I said, just like Lynn, just like Lynn, resonated with that energy right out of the gate. Spirit did. I said, Lynn, get her. So let me introduce to you somebody who I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase. Say she's one of us. You're going to love her. And I'm going to learn tonight because she knows a lot of the deeper rabbit holes of this wonderful universe and the miracles and like Steve does with some of the fae and the dragons and the pictures. And I've got a little surprise toward the mid we'll play here. I did a little video just to get us all in the mood and welcoming in this new year with love and with magic and with wonder and with to hell with all this darkness. We've walked through the darkness. We've seen the darkness. That's why we can walk through the light and make it so bright. It draws others to us, like that old porch light in the back, in the holler somewhere. When you turn on that porch light, you get every kind of bug coming, right? So that's what we want to do this year. We want to draw light. So Linda's introducing us these wonderful people, and just right up there leading this parade is Miss Anne Marie Young. Now, she is an empath, paranormal consultant, life coach. She specializes in astrology, numerology, tarot, scrying, candle magic. She also has a background in all things from nature. This is what I'm talking about. And UFOs. From an early age, she recalls seeing spirits, just like us. It's like, we're all connected. I keep saying this over and over. The first being a drowning at the age of 15, and another during childbirth, and yet another in the hospital with kidney failure in 2016. So again, she's seen the light. You see what I'm saying? And she is intuitive and feels compelled to help others with her gifts. Did I not say she was one of us? Please welcome in Ms. Anne Marie Young. Hello, sister.
Hello.
Welcome
I'm so
aboard.
Excited to be here and to finally, get with like minds and talk about the universe and
that's what it
try
is.
to guide everybody.
Yes. That's what it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to start right off, and then I'm going to do my best to listen and learn and jump in. But I'm so excited, so I don't expect much because I'm going to blabber on because I'm just so full of adrenaline.
I squirm, so please forgive me. I get on one and then I'm on something else, and it just goes.
That's just the way it is because the energy pumps. Lynn and I talked about this. The adrenaline just flows when you connect up because it's like, bzz, 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 and the thing is, it connects with the chat too, and all this wonderful flow of light and energy that comes from this chat.
We all have a piece of the puzzle.
Right, and if they sling bacon at you, that's love here. Our wonderful gatekeepers. Our wonderful gatekeepers. I saw this on Anne Marie's Facebook. Is one of the third picture down in her Facebook. I said, that's as far as I got to go. The earth is alive. It contains the knowledge you seek. It is your consciousness that determines what it reveals. Boom, snap.
We are all on our own separate path.
Yep.
You cannot compare yourself to anybody else.
That's true.
It's true. And the more you look for happiness outside, the further it gets from you. You have to find what's good for you. And
it comes in and you drag, and other people bring pieces, and it just it like plugs in. It's almost like the old operators that they
yeah,
get a call and they're
plugging in the plug.
plugging in, and sometimes we get those. And Lynn was that for me immediately. I listened to your voice on a podcast, and it resonated with me. I said, oh heck yeah, first get her on,
You've
it's going to be
also,
wonderful.
I watched a few of your podcasts, and I'm like, oh, she's a sister. She
Mhm.
is one of my soul sisters. I
Oh, it's
just know.
great. And it's so
Yes,
great to be together and with this chat. And I don't know if you can see the chat. Everybody is welcoming you in. We are going
yeah, I
to
can.
right out the gate, so I don't forget how we get in contact with you. I'm going to try to drop the links. I pinned the comment while we're talking. I'm going to pin the comment to link to your wonderful Facebook page. There is, Be the Phoenix, Rise from the Ashes. There's, so many in touch with the wonderful nature and the connection there. Lynn and I, first thing we talked about was we resonated on how Bigfoot and the frequencies, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
ins and outs. My elder grandmother Lenape, she would tell me in the wood line, they can go in and out at will. Some stay
Mhm.
and choose to try to learn here, and others go in and out like they're protectors. And
They're
I mean, at a young
interdimensional,
age,
definitely.
yeah, interdimensional. And so many people will just believe one thing and then not another. And if you just back
It's
up,
the fear.
say it's connected, it's all connected. I don't know
It
why
is.
it's so hard. And if you back up away from it, you get that 40,000-foot view, and we go, oh, this is no accident. The three of us getting together. It's no accident you're here with us tonight. And I just want to, 1 second, if you don't mind, forgive me, but I need to do some housekeeping. As a podcaster and YouTube, they're always changing the rules. So I don't want you guys to misunderstand. If I look at some of the, we have wonderful mods here and wonderful gatekeepers who help people along on their journey, because we're all going to go in the same place.
Yes,
Maybe on a different level, maybe on a different vibration, but we're all going there. So we're all going to see each other on the way on this wonderful journey called life, this school, whatever. So people also help in this chat. So if you have any questions, our wonderful mods in the chat will, guide you through. If you have any questions about us, or if you want to get a question in and I'm not seeing it because I'm a hot mess, they'll put it up there. Uncommon Belief, wonderful Ted Branson, and Edna, Lindsay, our wonderful Gray with Paranormal, Sasha Bell, so many more that I'm going to forget to mention tonight. But I also need you guys to look out. What they're starting to do is demonetize episodes where people are putting certain things in the chat. So if it's pornographic, or if you're getting a little cheeky, use code or something like that. I don't mind if you're slapping tickling in the chat. Just don't be too specific. So some of these young people that are spot checking and fact checking and censoring and stuff, don't hide this whole video for the universe to see, because that's what spirit guides do. They use this, something Anne Marie might say tonight, something Lynn might say tonight, some babble I might say. They can use that down the line, and we can't let people take that away from us. So mods, be on the lookout. Bake, what happens if we get porn bots or something in here. They're going to bake you about a dozen, right, Ted, of shut the fuck up cakes, and you out of here. They don't even have to ask me. This is the chat full of love and learning and helping each other. And we all can have different ideas, because I'm telling you, right, slap and tickling. That's right, Greg. So, and we're all learning together. So I'm not 100% right. Anne's not, Lynn's not, you're not. But together,
nobody's perfect.
we
It's a
got
safe, it's a
100%
safe
chance
word.
of making it right in this journey if we help each other along the way. Because like the picture I just showed says, what your consciousness, at the level of consciousness you're able to understand at this time. So if you don't understand it now, or maybe you disagree with it, just accept the knowledge, put it in your pocket, plant that seed for later, and maybe it needs to grow later after that ground becomes more fertile and ready to accept it. So that's my thing. And welcome, Lynn. Thank you for
Thank you.
finding her. I didn't know, Lynn, if you wanted to open this up. Tonight is Come and Get Your Love. We're starting with the love light. We're going right for the gusto. and starting this year out the right way and talking about tools that are going to help us along the way. So, Anne, take the floor. You guys.
I'm sorry. And resonating too with what you were saying before about, there really none of us are wrong here. We all see it from our own perspective with our own gifts, and each is a piece of the puzzle that comes together, that connects. And a lot of times, like even with Anne and I mean, we've talked about things, and Cisco and I too, we've talked about things, and she adds a piece that I grasp, and I say, that fits perfectly. Now what I've been wondering about over here makes sense because you've added that piece for me.
That little piece.
Yep. And also mentioning too what Cisco said as well, take from it what resonates with you, and you can leave the rest. You may want to go back to the rest, or even you hearing it, maybe planting a seed, and maybe tomorrow or the next day you may come across something similar to it, or some information that'll kind of connect with it and make that puzzle piece resonate and connect for you. So definitely open mind is good, and nobody's wrong here. Everybody is
sweet, Greg.
On the same track. So
there you go. Hi, Greg. Hello. Dark horse. I agree with every word you said, Lynn, but that's just normal for us.
And
perfect.
When Anne and I met, she has got some amazing gifts with nature. She and I, we were talking about how even when we go through the Walmart store, that we kind of avoid the plant section sometimes because we can literally hear the plants asking for water sometimes.
Home.
And Home Depot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So that's a lot of where her some of her expertise and gifts come in that I find to be very, very fascinating and very helpful. And I'm sure that a lot of people will resonate with what she has to say because maybe they have noticed it before too, but just didn't quite know what it was. And now we're going to talk about it. So it's
fantastic.
All good things. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask both you ladies, and Anne, we're going to let you go first as the guest, if you don't mind, because we are, come and get your love. A lot of people are, walking in the darkness. They've lost people over the past couple of years. They've seen things that they cannot believe is going on. All of these things, so much dark. It's like a dark fog has been crawling over the globe for a long time, global.
That's for sure.
I believe it's at a time of ascension of consciousness. I believe we picked to be here at this time because we have a knowledge. We've walked with it. It's in our DNA memory. We're all here to help. So we kind of gathered on this night so close to the beginning of the new year. We're really in the first week of the new year with people that carry the light grounders, whatever label you want to give it, whether it's just people with abilities, or whatever. Light grounders, light bearers, light keepers, gatekeepers, all of that. That's what we're here to do. Have you felt this happening over the past couple of decades and coming to a crescendo now?
Yes, I believe there's more and more people that are actually facing their night of darkness, where they're realizing everything that they've believed for so long isn't actually how it really is. In life, it's been so much fear given to us for control. And we were not made to be controlled. The more you try to control someone, the more out of control that person is. And it shows in their actions. People need to, it's not all light, it is all love. But there's love in the darkness too. People need somebody to sit and hold space for them when they're in that darkness. Sometimes it's not even saying a word. It's just listening to them and being there as a listening ear, help them understand, you're not alone. And yes, we know this sucks, but you have to take responsibility for your actions. You can't blame the world. You can't blame the president. You can't blame your parents. You live your life and it's up to you. And and your parents didn't come with the rule book. I didn't come with the rule book, and everybody's different. But we all have our own individuality. With me, with nature, the trees have always told me, and I've always felt it from them. We got you. We got you. You know, and over the last couple decades, I can feel the trees telling me we need help. Help us. The grounds, the chemicals, the pesticides, all this garbage is killing us. And once the ground, Mother Nature's going to get rid of us, and there's going to be something else behind us. If we don't
5G.
stop right now and start taking care of this crap.
Absolutely. I think getting connected back in with nature is what this whole intention is. I've been starting since before Christmas to say, have less, be happier, connect into the things that they're trying to make us forget we have, our creativity, our longevity, you know, that you know, we just all so many of us have tried to watch The Ravine, which has this message all the way through it, the spiritual warfare, light versus dark, the whole thing, and how beautiful the little messages in between.
Important.
It is every bit of it, from the trees to the butterflies to the birds to the rabbits to you know, whatever, all of it, all connected, you know, interdimensional, everything.
It's the year of the rabbit, and it's also number 7 year, which is spiritual. This year is spirituality and coming together.
Yep, I believe so too. Is that what you think, Lynn?
Yeah, it's fortunate that you mentioned that this is the year of the rabbit, because I was born during the year of the rabbit.
Wow.
So I find that interesting. So with it being the year of the rabbit, what all does that mean? I mean, is there what you were saying that resonates with the number 7? What were you saying about that?
Well, the rabbit is about abundance, and you know, the nature of a rabbit is to be quiet, but they move quickly. You know, they're all about the attention and love. And they're also in a lot of scripture, you know, the meaning of the rabbit with the abundance and of the divine. The rabbit is known to be at the foot of the divine because it moves swiftly. And that's, we all need to move swiftly. We all need to start taking care of each other. Because, and when I say taking care of each other, I don't mean doing things for other people. I mean having people do things for themselves and guiding them, like you were saying earlier, planting them seeds. Everybody is at a different level in this world, on a different vibration. And the more we get to the consciousness of the globe, not just the individual, we bring about that balance. And balance it doesn't mean always shining a light. You can get, sometimes the light gets too bright. And when people start shining their light too bright, it's not
there has
always
to be
a good thing.
There also has to be a balance, I think, too. A lot of people here in the chat were saying, you know, you walk through the darkness. That's a shamanic thing, too. You know, it's like you have to be able to go through the darkness. So everybody's, why did I go through that? Why did I go through such things? I am of the belief that there is something, I don't know if I'm calling it correctly or not, but a soul group that we have where we all get together and agree on things. So if that person is making you crazy in life, we've got to forgive it. You can't make a rock a tree. And you got to forgive them for being a good rock and move. What am I supposed to learn from this? How am I supposed to gain from this? You know, woe's me, I broke my leg, or I had this, you know, cold. Well, now I know how to somebody help them get over a cold or over a broken leg or over a broken relationship. And we don't have the knowledge if you don't go through it. Experience comes from usually bad experiences and bad choices, right, Lynn?
Yes, I know that's right.
Yep. Here's Anne's Facebook page, everybody. I want you to be able to get in touch with her. She's going to periodically give you, you know, different ways. She has a wonderful group page on there. It's all positive stuff about being the phoenix and rising from the ashes and learning from, you know, the things you've been through down to nature and fae and everything else. In the wonderful picture you have, I can see them in the candles. I'm going to pull that up as we talk, but I think it's wonderful.
That was actually a videotape. I had it on video, but it disappeared and like poof off my phone. Like all of a sudden it was gone.
Lynn knows that.
And I was like, oh my God, but I was so happy that I actually snapped that picture of that video. I was sitting there and I was actually doing a little magic thing with about balance. It was a white candle and a black candle. And I was calling upon help for bringing about balance. And as I was sitting there, I seen these fae coming down and landing. Then you'd see their wings go down and they'd stay there for a few minutes and then they'd fly off and there'd be other ones coming in. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I took another and I snapped the picture just so I could catch it. But yeah, that was actually a video.
I'm pulling it up now. I think I can get it. I'm listening. I promise. I'm not a techie and I'm a terrible mess with this, but sometimes I can get it just right. Let's see if it'll work here. The comment down. There's your, again, that's her Facebook page. And get in there, join that group. It's a wonderful group.
It's also a way to reach in if you have questions for her and want to reach out to her for some of the many, many gifts that she has, including candle work in the light and all sorts of those things. And also if you obtain pictures of things in nature and you want to have her opinion of what you think that they are, she's an expert in that. She can pick things out and definitely explain to you what they are.
Do you see in the glare of the flames here? Do you want to tell us about this, Anne? I just love this picture. Do you see them?
Yeah, you see the black candle and the white candle. There's two facing me, and there's actually one that you just see the back of it facing the other two in front of the white candle.
Wow. Look at that. Can you guys see that, chat? You see them? It takes a little bit here on StreamYard. There's a slight delay between what's, broadcast and when they can get it. Yeah. Isn't that something? Now, the thing is people will say, okay, it's just the glare and the glare on the thing. But again, is it just the glare or is it is it the fae using that to disguise themselves? Is it the universe using the glare to allow us to see the fae? Or are they just not there? And I think that depends too on what we said in the beginning, your level of consciousness. You can look at pictures all day long. If you're not meant to see it, guess what? You're not going to see it. And it might not be.
Pareidolia. It's all in your head. Well, if it's in my head, it's in everybody else's.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there, right? But I think that's it. I've never seen anything like it, and I think the thing that convinced me was when I had a picture, an actual printed out picture, and amongst several others, and it was one of those things where you could show somebody and they either saw it right away or couldn't see it at all. Yep. And then there was times I'd look at pictures where there's definitely something in there, and then it was gone. Yeah. So it blows our mind when stuff like that happens. But what if you're just not supposed to see it right now, or you're not supposed to share it?
Or they don't want you to show it to anybody else.
There it is.
I believe that too. That was a moment for you. And maybe a couple of
Steve
people,
says that all the time.
It's not. I had a friend, I had taken a picture. We were at her apartment, and I was telling her how the night before I smelled her grandfather's pipe smoke. I could feel him around. And she was like, and the whole room was full of static. And she leaned up in her chair and her hair was sticking to the chair behind her. And I snapped a picture. And in that picture, in the bottom hand corner, you could see her grandfather. You could see his hair, his marine haircut and his glasses, looking at her like right next to me. Now, I had that picture and I sent it to Tammy on Facebook and I had it on my Facebook. But a year later, when we both go, she's like, Annie, do you have that picture still? I'm like, oh, I must. It's on my Facebook. And I looked and looked, it was gone. She wanted to show somebody about how that had happened, how I was sitting in her house instead of talking about her grandfather, and all of a sudden, poof, he's there.
And that's it. You said it. It's absolutely, in here, it's spot on. I've seen it happen, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It was just for you. Steve Stockton says this all the time. Great friend of the show and the chat here. He says that all the time. His granny, basically a self-professed gypsy witch, who helped him with his abilities at a young age. Out of all the other grandkids, it was him, and he developed, that lasts forever. Same as mine with my my grandmother. She was Native American in the East, the upper East Coast. had to lie. Still, she was born in 1890, so she had to lie about her heritage so they would get it, picked on, trouble, and get everything they owned taken away, so much. So she was used to telling me little things like his grandmother did. Now, Lynn, I'm not sure. When you were younger, did you have a support system in your family with your abilities or no?
No, just the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, we were afraid of the men in white coats coming to get us. So, everything had to be hush hush in our family, and religion and things like that, made me actually very afraid of my gifts, that I would run from them. So yeah, I did not have the support system, but my children have that support system, and they're very gifted because of it.
Yep. And how about you, Ann? Did you have that support around
No,
you?
I was raised in a very Catholic home. Every time I tried to bring something up, the eyeballs would get really big, and it'd be like,
right.
Don't tell nobody. It wasn't like.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Woo, that one."
Yeah,
over
she's
there.
crazy. Oh, the best thing was I had the biggest imagination. Boy, is her imagination crazy. Yeah, it sure is.
That's true, Vixen. And I think that makes a little bit of development too. But I get, again, from what you said in the beginning and what I've, understand at this moment in time, because I've learned that can shift and change and grow and expand. Always, because once you start accepting this stuff in it, you start getting like these downloads.
Comes quicker.
Yeah, and they do. It's just like exercising. It's easier to do the push-ups if you keep doing them, that kind of thing. So with me, same thing. Haunted houses. I can remember seeing stuff from the crib, and you couldn't speak around my dad. I think all the women in my house had some level of ability. And again, they would shy away from it because of heritage, because everybody thought Native Americans were all woo-woo, which everybody's got woo-woo, trust me. But that's the way it is. And I think it's just, again, the development in time of the way your journey is supposed to go for you. When you get your stuff, your consciousness is ready, here it comes. So if you guys out there in the chat have had this experience where all of a sudden things are just starting to really snap into place and make, and starting to make sense, and little things that you thought were one thing, maybe that one thing, but it was bigger and it connected into other things.
There's more than one side of everything.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
more than one view of everything.
There's
no singularity to anything.
There you go.
And
everybody
everybody
agree.
Much love back, Michelle.
The more a person can take themselves out of a situation and look at it from a different perspective, the quicker you can actually see where to go to, what's next in your life.
Right. And if you ask your guides to help you too, people, I can't say it enough. You have free will. You must ask your guides. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, why do my guides let this happen? Why do they stop it? They're not responsible for your choices. They try to help you with your choices, but they can only help you if you ask them for the help. So you have to say, guides.
It is
Go ahead.
Simple, literally, for me, it is as simple as going out into the woods and asking my guides, please show me what direction I need to go to. And just
make it
snapping
plain.
a picture. Just snap the picture. And look in that picture, and I am willing to bet you will see something in that picture that resonates. It might be a rabbit. It might be a person. Like, I have different dragons. A lot of my pictures, you'll see a dragon in that picture.
I think that's one of your character medicines. As we say, Native American. I think it's because you're connected in that higher vibrational vibration where they are. You see what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean others can't be there.
Succeed. I want you to succeed. We're on that vibration. I want the world to succeed so I don't have to worry. The less stress I have on everybody else succeeding in their life, nobody has to worry, because they are taking responsibility and doing what they need to do. And they don't care what other people think, and it doesn't matter. If you are unhappy, change it. Change your real estate. You're not a tree.
Yeah, change your real estate, change another town, your zip code. I always told everybody, I worry about these kids. I tried to tell my sons, I pretty much raised them on my own. Redhead, Jersey, Cherokee, military drill sergeant. They didn't have a chance. They're decent human beings, come hell or high water. So anyway, I would try to tell them that it's so hard when you get out into this world and you start getting into that. Why is this happening to me? Stop yourself and say, okay, what can I learn from this? Why is this boss such a jerk? Well, some people are here to push your buttons, and I hate to say it, but it's something you needed to work through. There's so many different words for it. Hebrew in the Quran has some wonderful words for that. That's almost comes with your soul memory to push on. Okay, you wanted to work on this. You wanted to work on this. Here's a chance to do that. And in Christianity, a lot of times, people who know what they're talking about in Christianity and organized religion, the real people, and the light that they carry, they'll look at you and tell you, okay, well, you just asked God for patience. Well, now you have an opportunity to work on those. It's not you get patience. You have to earn everything you get from your relationships with people, even the bad ones, and again, that's what the ravine was about forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and moving on. It doesn't mean you forget. Somebody in the comments from last week asked me, Cisco, doesn't it mean forgive and forget? No.
Never forget.
Your source was not like you. Here's a lesson you just learned. Now forget you ever learned it. That's silly. You can forgive the person. You don't want to hate them because that harms you. You don't want to wish them harm because it harms you. I know
Don't
it's
let it
hard.
rent space in your head. That's what I tell people. Don't let that rent any space in your head. It's not paying you no rent.
Nope, let it go.
Put something else in that head.
I love
another
that saying.
thought.
Yeah.
Yep, you gotta let it go.
She taught me that too. I love that. I've been using that too. I love it.
You can't have that space in my head. And again, I cannot tell you enough. I feel somebody needs to hear this, so I'm going to say it again. You young people, God bless you, because I wouldn't want to be in this world where everything was tech this, and kids are looking at the phones in the grocery store. My kids were wide awake, having situational awareness, paying attention to their six, what was behind them, what the people were doing. They were reading body language. They were learning how to read micro expressions at 10 because I needed them to know the world that was around them. Not, whatever Punch and Judy that they're watching on the damn phone, and the Disney whatnot and all that crap. Don't get me started on that. So the thing is you're a parent. And, all of these things, we're drugging our kids and we're doing this. And please, I understand there are reasons and there are times that's correct. But they tried to give my sons in school. I got a teacher recommending that I drug my kids so her job could be easier. And again, I got teachers in the family. I'm not against the teachers. I'm saying this is the programming. You love them through it, damn it.
I literally had to go through court systems that they court-ordered my kids on drugs. Literally, I moved out of the town a couple towns over and put them into it just so I didn't have to continue the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they put my kindergartner. They refused to let my kindergartner go to school.
Yep. I homeschooled.
Unless he was on
third
drugs.
to fifth grade. Get your book bag. We're going home. Walked down the hallway. Said, excuse me, teach, for interrupting. Hollered across the room to my oldest son. I said, I'm homeschooling your brother. You want to be homeschooled too? And he said, hell yeah. I said, get your book bag. Let's go. And they were ahead. That first end of that year and that summer, they had raised their reading level. One of them 3 grades in the summer, just because I taught them how to appreciate reading and going away in your mind, and the smell
travel
of a book.
Everywhere, travel the world in books.
Yeah, going to the library and picking out all this stuff for free, and and then going to to the bookstore, saving your money to get a book and going away, in a vacation. They were allowed to read 2 of the ones that they picked and 1 of mine. And we started off with Treasure Island and Moby Dick and things like that. And then we'd watch the movie, But see, this
And
is the
check
thing,
out the
parenting.
differences between the movie and the book.
Yes,
What's
yes.
this and what? Yes, I
Parenting,
did the same thing.
learning your children. These are human beings that we're raising here, and I just feel so sorry for kids that grow up with all this tech. I mean, I've seen it through my life change, and I think about my grandmother, born in 1890, and what she saw in her 98 years. She saw planes taking off and all this other stuff. But progress isn't always the best. Sometimes you got to go back, and I feel like that pendulum is swinging when Anna's saying the trees, everything needs help. And I'm not a big person on this whole climate change thing and everything else, because I know the world shifts and I know it changes, but it's kindness. And if we don't take care of the earth, it cannot take care of us. It's all combined. We breathe out, the trees breathe in. Every living thing has a soul and an energy.
Purpose.
Those energies can come through this electronic stuff. We're putting out light tonight. You know how much darkness comes over this thing?
Oh, they do not like the light. They just try to, make it a fair thing, and that's the control. There is no control. My parents couldn't even control me.
I'm with you, Ted. And just for 1 second, Ted, I agree with everything you were saying in Steve's chat the other night, but I was just trying to respect Steve's chat because I had just found out about this YouTube thing where this is how bad it is. This one poor gentleman, lovely man, he likes to teach homesteading and gardening to people and canning and stuff that our grannies and our grandfathers knew. And he's a lovely man, and he had in his chat, let me see how I can say this. Okay. The guy's name was Richard Dragon, but he used the nickname for Richard. So when the guy pulled up the chat, it said Dragon, and he said it. He watched this video just so he could get out information to his chat. He watched this 2-hour video 3 times because he was trying to figure out why he got copyrighted. Did somebody have a t-shirt with a logo? Was there music playing in the background? A car go by playing a song? And he found, and YouTube said, yes, you got demonetized because in the chat, this guy's name was Dragon. And he said, well, you got me. It took a lot of my time. He said, I'm the only one here doing these videos. So mods, we got to watch out for that too. And I'm not into censorship. I swear to God, I'm not. I believe you should think the way you want to think, say what you want to say until the universe smacks you in the ass and tells you what you should be doing. But
that's interesting.
If you guys could watch, if you guys could watch it, and I hate doing that, and I don't want to censor anybody, because when you put together these names, it's funny. I mean, come on, it's funny, but YouTube is getting that specific. And now I'm only going to do that so much. I won't censor what somebody thinks or something like that. But if it's a little thing like that, or if it's a bad emoji of something YouTube doesn't want you to talk about, they're going to click you for it. So mods, you don't have to ask me. This is how I would do it in a diplomatic kind of way. Go ahead and retract the statement if you think, and then kindly ask the person, could you please find another way to say that? We want to hear what you have to say, but we have to be respectful on the format that we're on. We have to follow the rules, just like driving down the highway. You can't ride around with your butt hanging out the damn window and not expect a ticket if somebody sees you. So I'm just saying, let's be careful.
I think I did moon somebody once, but we won't go there.
We've all done it. I've done a lot worse than that, sweetheart.
They didn't have fact checkers until the truth started to come out.
I was just going to say that, Lynn. That was what was in my head. I'm like, it's the truth that they don't want. They want their truth,
Amen.
not the world's truth.
See, that's
everybody has a different truth.
We're here telling the truth. We're just wise enough to use other ways to say it, going in the back door. I will kick in your back door. I'm telling you what, you're going to hear the truth here. We just have to be a little careful, and like Ted was talking about. It is my
truth. It doesn't mean it's your truth or Lynn's truth or anybody's truth. I'm speaking my truth.
Right. And sometimes, like, the thing is facts are funny things. Just like John Adams said, facts tend to come around and, rise to the top and come out anyway, and some of these people, this is how I look at it, Ted, the person we were talking about the other night, my husband was keyboard player, multiple bands. One of was Big Fat Pet Clams. He also played with Bruce Springsteen. I knew stories about Bruce when he was very young. sometimes when people get older, they get caught up in the system and they get caught up in the thing and they get real mouthy, and then things get clipped and edited, and then they say some really crappy things and they mean to. Here's the deal. When somebody is like that, I stop at the point that their songs or their books or their movies or their whatever meant something to me. And then I just pretend in my mind that they died right then. I don't wish that they're dead. That person that I liked died at that moment. And then somebody else grew and went on, and I don't need to pay attention to that person. So I can still enjoy the music that I knew as a kid. I just don't listen to anything after that time. I enjoy the movies that I watched with that person when I was younger. So they don't steal my good time and my memories and my nostalgia. I won't allow them,
Yeah, I agree.
and then they changed and went on. I wish them well, there it goes. Just like a balloon, it just goes off into the universe, and I don't ever have to think of them again past the point where their input gave me my life enjoyment, and that way it doesn't take away.
You thank them for it.
Mm-hmm,
for me, like I told Lori, I call that cord cutting, where you go to that moment. You go to that moment of whatever happened, where you need to cut that tie, and you thank it for being and for teaching and for learning, and move on. Cut that cord and move on.
Amen. So many things, Lynn, I'm sorry I let you jump in here just a second, but so many things where you're having these cleansing meditations. Lynn can back me on this. I know Ann can. Lindsay, you can. I know Aunt Edna, you can. So many of you have done this. You might call it something different, whether you're saging or cleaning a home, or whether you're saging and cleaning a soul, and you're helping that person cleanse. I've been in multiple rituals. We had to go back and cleanse bloodlines, generational shit.
Generationals, yes.
That goes back and back. And the circle keeps coming around. Do you ever hear the thing? The circle of abuse, the circle of addiction, the circle of this. Break it.
Generational curses. Let's stop them right now.
God. So many people in this chat, you can testify to this, that you have broken the circle. And you know what happens when that happens? Lynn can probably give me more insight on this, because I know she's seen it.
Your ancestors.
They're right behind you, and they're like, thank you for breaking that.
Yes.
Thank you for breaking this, because we tried so many times to break that, and I got caught up in the regret and not forgiving myself and not forgiving that person. And, and now we've got to go back through it again in a different configuration, but we're going to go through it again. No, I broke it. I forgave that person. Thank you so much for being
shadow work.
And then send them happy thoughts and energy. Yeah. And just, it lifts you both, and you're going to go out in a better vibration. I mean, that's just, beautiful. This is just what has come to me at this point.
That's true.
What do you think about that, Lynn?
I remember you telling the story about your father, even, and that whole thing, and about how he was slumping almost and sad.
Yes.
When other people would feel his energy and bring his attention to you, talking about the man in the uniform. And when you finally started to shift your energy that you were submitting or emitting to him, of some anger, some resentment, even a little bit, and that he wasn't there the way that you needed him to, when you shifted that into more of a loving way and you let it go and looked at it differently, that he then was able to raise his head and even send you some caring back. So, cool. I remember that story that you were, tell us, you could tell us that story again if you wanted to. That was incredible.
I'd love to get Ann's idea on this, because this was an experiment, Ann. Now, again, hot mess. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I had this wonderful medium, and because of what I do, we all do it. I make, I wire sculpt gemstones. So I also want to get you on here one night and learn about, the crystals and things like that. Cause I have a minute, from a jeweler and creativity point of view, I am no way an expert in all the properties and metaphysical properties of gemstones and crystals and things. I know some, but it's a vast world. Same with astrology and other things, So I think my conscience is ready to learn a little bit more, but
Always learning.
yeah. So I'm always at these psychic fairs and everything else, and I've got some mediums and psychics and things like that. We're familiar. I have one that really is great at picking up my mom's energy. So at one of these sessions, my mom comes through, and it was very comfy, cozy convo, and it just always was with us. And the medium, which is basically bridge between convo, my mom came through, and she's telling me about stuff my sons are going to go through. It's going to be drastic. This was before my son's major accident. I had no idea how drastic she meant. And she's like, you have to let him do this, and you have to let him do this. This is what they picked to get out of their way. Take the hats off. All those tools you've been building all your life, put them in your toolbox, sit on that sumbitch, take the hats off. Now you take care of you. You have to focus on you, and they're basically going back and forth like this. Okay. I'm speeding through it, but it was pretty much the combo. And at one point in time, I said, I always forget to ask about Dad, she's been dead 76 or passed over, and he went in 82. And I asked about him. And now keep in mind, this man's been married multiple times, I think 6, 7 times. Marry, get her pregnant, go off cheating. She has the kid, alcohol, gambler, great sports, great guy to go out with. Not so good having as being a daddy, but terrific in other ways. And I tried to focus on those. Everybody in my family hates him. Every time his name is mentioned, he's cursed every single time. And I always saw all around, it wasn't really doing those people any good. So I started to think, what if I flip-flop and I send him love and forgiveness? And so I asked my mom, how's he doing? She says, I don't want to talk about him. I want to talk about my grandsons. And I said, okay, well, tell me what you want to say about them. Because I figure if I need to hear this, shut up and listen, because that's what they need you to do. Not, I want to know this, this, and this. Let them tell you what they came to tell you, because that's what you need to hear now. That's the most important thing. So I let that happen. And then before she left, I said, but what about Dad? She goes, okay, hold on. I'll go down and get him. And I look at the medium and I go, no, don't go down there to get him. No, don't. It's okay. And the medium laughed, and I could almost feel my mom laugh. She goes, no, that's not what I mean. He's just vibrating at a lower level. And she said, but the medium starts laughing, and she goes, oh my gosh, I think she just went down and pulled him up by the collar. And here he is. And he was so weak, and he couldn't hold up his head out of shame, out of the, whatever it is you go through when you're dealing with all the pain you caused, and you're, dealing with yourself, judging yourself, working through it is what I was getting. Yeah, that's what I was getting. And I said, well, how is he doing? I said, you tell him that I'm going to start sending him love energy and happy thoughts, and try to, memories. And boy, you did a good job picking that woman. You were a lousy husband, but by God, you could pick good women, positive things, thanks for picking my mom, little things.
Thank you for creating me.
Yeah. Being my dad, being a good rock. You weren't a tree, but you were a great rock, So I'm doing these kind of things. Man couldn't talk. He couldn't utter a sound. And my mom said, finally, I'll help him out, which again solidified what Lynn tells me years later, that we can help each other over there. And many other people tell me the same thing. So I started doing this. Year and a half goes by. I'm in the shower. I send up happy thoughts and energy to all my loved ones, my ancestors, pets that have passed, you name it. I bump into the medium again, bringing somebody else for help. When we're all done, she says, your mom's here. She just brought that one over for this person. She says, that's really cool that you did that, because that meant a lot to that person. It's going to make a great difference in their life. And I said, awesome. That's what we did it for. She goes, well, hold on a minute. She's bringing somebody in. And I'm like, oh, goody, So I'm like, who is it? Who is it? She goes, I see a man in uniform. He's very tall, very handsome. My dad looked like Robert Mitchum. Hello. Ooh. Hello, right? Just a moment for Robert Mitchum in a dress green with the oh gosh, stop it. So I know, right? So anyhow, so she says he's a man in and she didn't know the uniforms, wasn't familiar. We figured out it was army dress green. And I'm like, okay, that could be 2 people. And I said, give me something. She goes, I said, can he speak? Can he say something? And she says, hang on, he's trying. It's very difficult for him, but he's been practicing. How cool is this? He knew I was coming. He says, the first thing my dad chooses to say to me, I would not have been a good role model for your sons. I said, that's my daddy. That was my daddy. The father had passed. You see what I'm saying? That he was just somebody who gave me his bloodline. This is starting to be my daddy now. And if I can help him out of all his kids, out of all the people he knew, and help him get better, then I think that's what we were supposed to do when we came here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. He could lift his head in and he could speak. And she says, your mom's taking him back now. She's not done with him. I go, that's my mama.
Oh my God, wicked chills. That is so awesome.
Me too.
But how cool. Does this not tell you how energy is? So please, please, please. I don't know, Anne, if you've seen The Ravine or not. It's free on YouTube. We've all been watching it, as we can. I will send you the link. It's free on YouTube.
Yes,
but it goes through the spiritual warfare of why people go through and do things. They make their choices, free will. The whole time, it literally is pulling us back and forth like the angel of the devil on your shoulder, literally.
Yep.
And you get to that point. Well, if you choose to do that, that's what that soul chose to do. But as it passes, I speak to Lynn about this all the time. It seems that our loved ones or people on the other side that have crossed over, not stuck here, but crossed over, come back and their message is, please don't focus on my murder. Please don't focus on this that happened or that I did. Live your life, learn from it, press on. You're killing yourself. You're eating poison with the hate and revenge and anger and fear and everything else. Let it go.
Yeah.
Wow.
100%.
That's my story.
I love that story.
And you got to let it go. And how free you are. You can hope. I believe the line in the movie from the lovely psychic that was there, but was helping everybody. Hey, Blue, I love you so much, honey. And I'm not going to tell you business here, but everybody, please send healing energy, hugs, and love to Blue and his family. And we love you so, so much. And going to have some good music here in a few minutes. We're going to see a couple really pretty pictures of fairies and dragons and some good music. And every time I pick music, I think of you, especially when I pull the blues. So I love you, my friend. So there you go. Lynn, that matches up with what you know, what Anne knows. And here we are to verify each other's. Oh, I get so excited when
synchronicity, and it's
Me
all
too.
connected.
I got the chills the whole time you were talking. It was like, oh yes, I so connect with that. I so understand that.
It's amazing, and the
it's
psychic
more
in the movie
than we give it. It's more simple than what
it is. Oh my gosh,
give it. It really is. It's really just so right simplistic. There. We're all connected by a heartbeat and a breath. When you connect with your heartbeat and your breath, you can connect with anything in this world. When you sit and you relax and you're in the present and you're in the right now and you just breathe and you feel your heartbeat, you go somewhere. You transcend. You're
meditating. How many? It's like Lamaze when you're giving birth. The most natural thing that we can do. They teach you all the different breaths and the breathing.
Yourself, the more you learn.
Every martial art, so many things, yoga, transcendental Buddhism, so many things. It's
all connected.
Did you guys know that a lot of the music back in the early days of the church, everything was meant for vibration and frequency? And it was lifting your voice in unison and hitting those harmonic notes, when you're in a church or if you're in a drum circle or you're in somebody's living room and everybody's singing and everything resonates, and it's soul lifting, and it's like your battery is drained and you plug it in somewhere just to get regenerized. This is what happens when we gather together like this and we get that regenerative boost. If you know it works like that, why do people question it goes the other way? Every single time. It goes the other way. If you're around darkness and negativity and you're feeding negative stuff into you while you're driving in the car, and you've got this news playing and you've got, text messages going off in your head and trying to remember everything you're doing, stop the madness and get that still small silence down to the point where your breathing is regulated with your heartbeat. Yep. And you start to regenerate again. You start to become your whole. It's instead of this erratic being that's just never gets a chance. Why do you think you're so exhausted when you sit finally at the end of the day and you can't shut the brain off?
It's true.
It's in every. There's swimming. It's in martial arts. It's in running. It's in everything. And we don't do it in our daily. We don't do it on our daily.
No, we don't.
My boss runs around all day like this. I've never seen anything like it.
A lot of it is too that people become addicted to the chaos a lot of times, and it's hard for them to see something different. So they actually have to relearn how to say no to the chaos and redirect until it becomes second nature to them in the positive direction. So, it sometimes that happens too.
And some people don't
the wisdom in this chat.
Not liked. They're like so worried that somebody's not going to like them. Oh well, not everybody is going to like you. You don't have to worry what other people think.
You are not. It's none of your business what people think of you.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you that right now. And I think that's why the stars are so broken. Stars and people, narcissists, and again, forgive me if you're a star or a narcissist or a CEO or a power person like that, because I think they forget. They're so about like going Wall Street and go into some of the white, the rooms where all the white shirts and thin black ties are, and they're just making these phone calls, and the phones are ringing, and all this stuff's going on, and they're taking money from people, their life savings and their 401ks and all this other stuff. All these different jobs that just has gotten to the point where give me mine, I need more, I need more, I need more, and it's just got us up here. Oh my God, how did we do this? We're all hunter-gatherers, fisher people, tradesmen. How did we come from this? And now we've gotten to this point where we have less of those. And I'm going, I waited it out. It's like keeping my old bell bottoms from high school. If I hang on them long enough, it's going to come back around.
Come back. They might
come back around. Trades are coming back. Being creative are coming. Trading amongst people, it's coming back.
Gardening. I love gardening.
Teaching the grandkids how to do stuff. My God, just
my grandson
like
waters
that.
My plants with me.
Oh, it's wonderful. Like the poem we put out, this one, it was called Granny Witch. Don't let our traditions die. Native Americans been screaming that forever. We just don't want to be extinct. Traditions mean everything, and again, Native and tribal has been saying prophecies of this time forever. Lindsay, back me on that. And Edna, back me on that. I don't care if you're Hopi or Cherokee, Navajo, Blackfoot, Creek. I can go all day. Seminole. Everybody's got this. And if you go back far enough, all the different cultures have this. This is this time. And it's very important we keep the lights on. More important than Motel 6. Trust me on that one. Right, ladies?
Yes. The no-tell motel.
This is absolutely. And there's so much wisdom in this chat. I want to go through, if you guys, I know you wanted to talk a little bit. I am not in any way versed on Fae or astrology. I know astrology is very big at this time. I know you both understand a little bit of that. Where are we at right now?
I'm no expert.
I'm not either.
I dabble in it. I'm very interested in it because I know it means something. I know
all numbers and stars, right?
2020, the year 2020 was a year of mirrors.
Yeah.
They were mirrors everywhere. That 2020 was all about mirrors. And I knew it before it started, and I couldn't wait to see what it was going to be. I knew it was going to be chaos. I told everybody there's chaos coming. I even told my kids, my daughter worked at a gas station. I was telling her that the year 2020, we're all going to be in masks and to take care of yourself, to get healthy.
Yep.
That was before all this stuff. And how did I know that? A hawk. I kept seeing a red-tailed hawk. And that's what that meaning is. There are certain things in nature that if you make the connection, they want you to, they are trying, they are doing their damnedest to try to get your attention. To, hey, look, you know, we are here. We are here for you. We got you. You need to pay attention. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to get everybody else. I work on the collective conscience now. I used to try to work with individuals, but most individuals don't really want to, they want other people to go with them. You know, they want you to follow them. None of the narcissists, people that, you know, my way.
And also misery likes company. You know, a lot of people don't realize that they're energy vampires. They don't realize that, you know, they interject themselves in other people's lives just to want you to mess up too. I mean, we're going through a lot of that, you know, see it now where all these young people are spending so much money and they're caught up in that thing, the credit card, the instant, the push the button, here it is, you know. And, you know, and again, something we were taught young, if you don't work hard for something, you don't appreciate it. And that's what we've got. You know, I watched 1923 the other night, and I love historical things that are done right. And the 1883, you know, very good series. I think it's like 3 shows, and then it goes back. It all has to do with Yellowstone and the heritage and the generations are going back, you know.
Yellowstone.
I just got the wicked
chills. Yeah, I got the wicked chills. I've been getting the chills about Yellowstone for a while.
Oh, me too. Oh, yeah. There's something going on. Some evil's coming out of there. Some evil's coming out of there. So nature, so nature and
there's something getting ready to come out of
rise
there.
Again. We've been poisoning this. I'm telling you, people, we got to get the evil out. You know, so keep the lights on.
That's how I started.
And that's what's happening. But in 1923, Helen Mirren is playing an older woman, and she's laughing about when they're on their ranch in Montana and they go into town, everything is like electric start to come out. They got the little, you know, horseless carriages and stuff coming around, and it's like going into a different world, and they're expanding on their thoughts on it. And she's like, you said the washing machine doesn't look too bad, but what happens now? The guy's trying to sell them electric. Says all in New York is electric. Electric is coming here. And the guy says, well, what happens when we get electric? Then we need all your things that you're selling us so we can use the electric. But then we'll have to have the electric. So basically, we're not working for ourselves anymore. We're working for you. We're already doing all these things. And then then the guy said, well, you'll have more time to do other things. He's like, what? You know, because they're just used to getting up in the morning and doing things to survive for that day and the future and working for it. And that was the start of all of this instantaneous stuff. Now people have so much time on their hands, they still don't know what to do with it. They complain more about not enough things on TV than what they had to eat today. What's more important than what you put in your mind and your eyes and your heart and your body? You know, I mean, as far as sustenance, they're more worried about there's not enough stuff on TV to watch. You know, when was the last time you read a book or, you know, helped a kid or taught them a craft or an art? You know what I mean? We're really losing that. And I think that pendulum is swinging back. Boy, when it goes, Lynn,
be ready.
How far back's it going to swing?
Yeah, really. Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah,
I think we will.
It's getting ready to, you know, talking about changes with things too. I mean, even I had just gotten through writing a book called The Gap, and I was talking about the art of dating and how even that has been lost, and because people are sitting across from each other at a table and both of them are on their phone. It's like, you know, put your phone down, you know, the engaging and actually talking with people. So everything is changing and it's becoming
all by design,
more negative. Oh yeah. Yeah,
sure. So by design, we fought it. I saw it in 3rd grade. So now that my kids are they're in the 30s, so we're going back. And I remember being in an argument with my sister, where she was on the Board of Education in New Jersey, and I was in Alabama talking to her about homeschooling. And she says, you know, they're trying to get rid of cursive writing. They don't want to teach cursive writing. And I said, well, they don't want them to be able to read the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. They don't want them to be able to go back and read the journals from the Civil War, from the Revolutionary War, the letters from, you know, the both sides who had a right to say their feelings, and why we got to that point we'll never learn. how we got to that point where we were
And they don't
fighting
write
brothers
checks.
in the street.
They don't know how to sign their names to write a check.
No,
That's right. That's
no.
right.
So
And they
don't
can't
use
talk
checks. Right.
eye to eye, shaking
No.
hands. Now they don't even want you to shake hands with everybody. They want you 6 feet apart, your head down, your face covered. Honey, that's a spell.
Yeah.
Why 6 feet? If a sneeze can go, I'm going to say it again. If a sneeze can go 25 to 30 feet, why 6 feet? That is a spell. There's a special kind of black magic. It's coming all the way from every angle you can look at. You bet situational awareness. You better watch your 6. And better yet, you got somebody you care about. You better be watching their 6 too, and pull them out of whatever muck and mire they're about to fall in, because you get those lights on. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because it is a special kind of black magic to make people this kind of zombie crap where you're just killing people without
the more
compunction.
they can get you into the games, and the more they get you away from the earth and nature, the farther they get you away, the less you are who you are. You are desensitized.
Stuck to your divine. Your divine.
Yes,
your light.
Your divine is inside you, not in the job. Your happiness is not in a job. It's not in a person. It's inside you. Your divine is in you. So many people are searching outside of themselves when they really, really need to search from themselves.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. You're searching outside themselves for this pleasure.
Amplifier. I agree, Ted.
It's going into like this empty bottomless hole.
Both parents
fill it with
have
sugar
to work.
and ding dongs and
Sometimes
alcohol.
Sometimes parents have to work more than one job.
Oh,
they make us
3.
raise our kids by themselves with the TVs and the schools, and we don't have no time because everything is about the almighty dollar. The almighty dollar.
Better give up that second car and that big ass house. I'm telling you, I don't understand. I'm not going to say who, but most of the people in my family have these big ass houses where I tell you a family of 5 could be in the downstairs bathroom and you wouldn't know it. That's how big these houses are. They've got bars in the pool house. They got a bar in the kitchen. They got a bar in the man cave. And I'm like, I don't see anybody. I don't understand this. What are you paying for? There was a man in my store the other day, and he was talking about, well, he's got this big, beautiful house on the beach. Now, I'm here on the East Coast in Jersey, so we're already.
I'm in Virginia. East Coast, right on the water.
I got you.
South Carolina, East Coast.
And after Sandy, well, you know the damage, right? So he's still putting his house together, Sandy. This is a 4-level home on stilts on the beach in New Jersey. So you can imagine what this is going for, this McMansion, right? Himself, his wife, and 2 kids. There were families of 10 living in cabins less than 100. You know what I mean? 100 years ago. Think about it. Now, I'm not saying progress isn't good, but when is too much too much? And he can't keep it. He can't do it. He's killing himself, losing his business because of all the crap. A small business guy, and he can't keep it. So, it's like years ago, I got a call from a family member, said, how do you survive? And I said, hold on, wait a minute. Are you asking me how to keep your boat and your country club? Or are you asking me how to feed a family of 4 on $25 a week? Because there's a difference.
Yes.
And that's where we are. Because those of us that have been surviving like that and doing what our grannies did, and doing what our ancestors did, and the hunters, the gatherers, the traders, the warriors, I'm going to do my very best not to insult the people that hacked it out of the wilderness and lifted that foot and took one more step and moved through the crap they went through to come here and whine because, I can't afford, that extra car or whatever. Or,
it's going to be 2 days before I get something,
Yeah. Or, or my Amazon package would get here. Or, I saw last week a girl was complaining. Her rent went up $100 a month. But I'll tell you something. Every week she gets some nails done.
I know,
every week. And she's out 3 times a night. 3 times a week. I'm sorry, 3 times a week, because I hear the stories. I try not to, but I hear them. And she's actually having an anxiety attack because she cannot understand how she's going to afford the rent. And I'm like, I can't help this person.
Yeah,
I can't help this person. I'm not even gonna let life
No
do
nails.
it. Yeah,
No nails.
let life do it.
not done.
You know, and
No.
and because it's the old goat woman on the hill, my friends. You know why she's on the hill? One, it's the peace and quiet, but it's also by the time they dragged their gnarly, rotten, non-listening
Up the hill.
ass up that hill, and they're gasping for breath, they're ready to listen. Because old goat woman on the hill don't have time for your shit. You're either going to listen and heal yourself and allow her to help you heal, or stay at the bottom of the hill. You know, and again, I'm standing on the hill like this, going, you know. But you want to crawl up the hill and you need help, and I see you crawling up that hill, I'll come down there and help you get up. But
yeah, a lot of people.
I'm tired of dragging.
I got to give them like things to do, and if they don't follow them things that I do, don't come back.
That's
Just
the old
don't.
test. Go watch that 10-minute video, and if you can't drag your ass to watch a 10-minute video over a certain amount of weeks, and you're going to ask me to tell you what the next part is, give it to you.
I'm not doing it for you.
Nope.
I can't do it for you. I can just guide you on what you need to do. And once you do that,
you got to do
come back to me.
Because your consciousness isn't going to change, ladies, unless you do the work.
That's right. Right. You've got to make that investment.
You have to be ready for it, and you can't force it either. Apparently you can't. If you're not ready for this information, if you're not ready, as soon as I started realizing, she'd love Cabin 22 because it's got everything.
Oh, God, you would love Cabin 22.
It's a book I wrote, and it's about on a haunted mountain.
If you go back,
Halloween.
Cisco did a whole series.
That picture.
Yeah, she did a whole series of the book that if you go back in her podcasts, that you can start from the beginning and go through it. She did such an amazing job with all the what they call memes and the voices and the voices. She did all the
came
voices,
out of nowhere,
and it was just unbelievable that all of the voices and she kept them exact with each person, and you could tell when she was talking about certain people and the dog and the owner. Oh my gosh. It's an amazing. It would make an excellent movie.
I think the spirits wrote it. I think the spirits wrote. I got my dragon. How fortuitous is this? I get to tell you this with Anne here. As much as she loves dragons, as much as they love her, I got a dragon for my birthday.
Did you?
And, yes, I did. So I'm going to get to put Cabin 22 in print, and I'm hoping that and then Steve is going to take it. We'll see if we can make it he's going to make it a screenplay, so we'll see. But thank you for that, Lynn. But the thing is there's everything is in it. The Bigfoot is in nature with the the Native Americans come to tell the Bigfoot, hey, we're not here to mess with you, handle your stuff, we're trying to keep this other thing that doesn't belong, that came in, we're getting the evil out. And it's just this oneness of all these people coming together, and nobody really realizes why they're there until they get there in the moment. And everybody takes their individual gift and their ability and their knowledge and works together to win good against evil. And it's amazing. I mean, there's a soul collector in there. We all know these entities exist. They're older than time. They're ancient, and again, I don't know how your heart breaks, Anne-Marie, knowing what you know, and Lynn and I have talked about it. When you see all these young people going out and they think they've got all the answers because they got a flirt camera and something else, kicking indoors, threatening ghosts, dead serial killers. Love that one.
Oh my God.
You think that energy isn't going to come after you? You're out of your mind.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
Right.
And a lot of these
Stop
groups
poking the bears because
yeah. A lot of these groups too that go in.
You want to go up to these kids and just slap them in the forehead,
Yeah, and a lot of these groups too that go into these homes and they act like these beings, these spirits are trained monkeys, which is actually Kristen's word. Calling it trained monkeys, and she's right. I mean, you don't go in and I mean, these are people that have intelligence that have passed
Thank
away.
you.
It's like touch Blinky, make it blink. Oh, it blinked. Oh,
Yeah.
touch Blinky again and make
What are you
Blinky
doing to
blink.
help the ghost?
Wait. Do it one more time so that I can get another film. And then they wonder why. And after the fourth time, they ask him that the spirit is screaming through the shadow box for them to get out.
Yeah.
I tell them to get
I
out
agree.
too.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like
somebody kicking in your door at your kitchen there to come in and going, "Hey, Lynn, if you're here, knock on the table." Excuse me, what?
Yeah,
they don't know. They don't, and it's just, if you go in with respect and intent, Lindsay, everybody knows this, we've got some wonderful paranormal investigators here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that. And again, I take my equipment with me, carry it all the time. It's me. Me, a pair of dowsing rods usually, just for confirmation.
A camera.
And that's it. Yeah, she uses her camera to do that, so things like that. And I'm not saying anything against equipment. I think it's wonderful. And of course the growth. But again, my big thing is, come on, people, here's the deal. In 100 years, or we've gone back to like the 60s and pulled up old documentaries, they knew the same about Bigfoot as we were talking about right now. Same about ghosts we're talking about right now. The same about all of these things that we're talking about right now. Pretty much UFO is the same. So where have we been in 100 years? What have we learned? This is what we've learned, that it's all connected. It's much more simpler than we're making it, and in a complicated kind of way. But somebody else has got the wheel. And if you don't believe that, and you don't believe that you're connected to that source, and that is your best weapon, is your light and your divine spark. And anything that tries to disconnect you from that is not your friend.
Right. And you are responsible for yourself. You are not responsible for anybody else.
No,
absolutely.
You have no control. And don't try to control anybody else, because the more you try to control somebody else, the more out of control you make that person.
And yourself.
Absolutely.
You lose a little of yourself.
Yes,
that is
when
so
we
true.
Start getting on that path to where we feel like we can continue to jump in this raging ocean that this person keeps deciding and volunteering to jump in themselves, and you continue to jump in there to get them, eventually you're going to drown.
That's right.
That's so true.
If you keep bringing them to the dry land, and help them get their air back and help them get on their feet, and the minute you turn your back, they're back in that shit. Let them go.
Right. And a lot of times too, people do that for distraction because they're uncomfortable with focusing on themselves.
They want the attention on themselves.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Some people don't want to be helped. They just want other people to feel bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
And to,
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And they draw.
Those are the energy vampires that just suck the life right out of you, because they just, for everything that answer to their problem, they've got two more.
Yep.
Those are the people that
I won't.
I have to block my own family.
You don't understand. All of it.
You don't understand. You gotta walk away. I understand plenty. I understand. Nobody yanked me up. There were people there sometimes when I reached up. I was shocked at the hands that came down to give me that boost up. But I always respected that boost up, and I respected the chance they gave me, and I made it work. And then I made another, bad choice or a hard left somewhere on my crossroads. And I learned from it, came back and got my ass right back on board again and started going. So, I learned a lot from that one. Good. Maybe somebody will come along. I can help get through that situation, because we can't help anybody unless you go through it. But the thing is we're not supposed to go through everything. We're supposed to go through our own things and come together as a group at the end, or like we're doing now, and help each other.
Yes, and you learn from each other's mistakes. Mm-hmm. I can watch somebody else do something, and they're like, "Well, I now know, don't do that. Don't poke the bear. Find somebody who knows how to handle the bear. You don't poke, right? Find, I can't handle everything, but I know somebody, or will find somebody that can.
I know a guy.
I know
I got a guy.
I know a girl,
I got a guy. And that's what it is. All in this paranormal chain. And that's the way. And again, that's cabin 22. Not one person there could have won that battle, but it was their intent and their love to keep that nature. You would love this, because it's all about respecting nature and living within the bounds and, the sacred tribe and all that stuff. And it goes back, and it also has to deal with ghosts. But as you were saying, both of you, talking about these human beings that we deal with every day, Ghosts are no different. What
It's
makes you
true.
now? You've got somebody
They're
who's
creatures
out of
of
their
habit.
body. Yeah, they're out of their body. Their soul's out of their body. They're the essence of, what used to be whole, as in this meat soup, whatever you want to call it. And here they are, and you don't know what state of mind they're in.
Yeah.
You don't know where they're thinking. You don't know what if they're stuck in some anxiety thing or, whatever. How did they go out? What was they were like every day? I mean, I see people at my grocery store. If these people were to all just, pass and be ghosts all at once, it would be near impossible to deal with them. It's therapy, people. It's therapy. How dare you go into a house and assume you know everything that's going on, or into a store or a field or whatever, and you don't know anything that's going on. The only thing you can assume is that there are human beings that are in trouble and are in some level of broken communication, agitation, worry, fear, pain. You don't know what they're seeing. Some are stuck in a loop. Some of their energies just going around and around. And there's dark entities that live on that loose, that negative pain energy, and they're sucking it off of them. And they don't want you to help that human being. So you got to fight through that too. You got to fight through that too.
I've been in a house try to help an energy, and the darkness came in, and it was like, oh yeah, okay. So I got as many out as I could before I could, close the place up.
Yeah. Also, good advice to not go into something like that alone. You need some ladies like this that know what's going on, and people with abilities that can read the room, and that's the living and the dead. And then you're bringing in whatever's following you. The homeowner or the store owner's bringing everything there. Now you're creating a ruckus. All this light's coming. Here comes the 2-3 ghosts that have been wandering up and down the block for, eons, and they want to know what's going on. They're coming to the party. So anybody that gets 2 or 3 words on an EVP and thinks they know everything, the whole history and everything else, they're pulling your leg.
Yeah.
They're pulling your leg. There's more to it. So you have to think, like, next time you go to a grocery store or a restaurant, sit real quiet. This is a little thing that I tell people to do, when they're in paranormal groups and stuff, or thinking about getting into this. Go to one of those places, or Walmart. There you go. And you look around and imagine those people being ghosts. How would you approach that woman that's wearing, the bicep? What do you call those leggings? Those tight, whatever those pants are. Leggings. And they're 2 sizes too small for her. And she's this and that. She's wrestling with her kids, and you see what's in her cart, and she's talking on her phone, and she's bitching because the groceries are too high, but she's got them $100 nails on, and she's got $150 whatever on her head. But her mind is just gone, and it's warped and she's alive. Now you go up to her and go, ma'am, I don't think you should stay here anymore. I'm here to tell you that you need to go over here into this light. How is that human being you just talked to that I described going to react to your shit?
She's going to tell you to read between the lines.
Probably going to get hit. You're probably going to get hit, or whatever ability she has, that little trick she's learned or whatever. And then you've got these others that just want you out of their house because you
don't want to bring a cross to a shaman, to an Indian burial. You want to. You have to have the right
tool for the job,
the right energy for the right job,
and the kindness. If you go in with that kindness and that light, I can walk on a battlefield and try to suss it out, through the energy. I've got some. I'm sitting here talking, and they're walking right through us, don't even see us. They're just so stuck on still on duty. But the ones that are listening, if I can get them to listen, they can sometimes reach out to the other ones and get them to click in and follow through. They just need somebody to relieve them of duty, and I can do that as a soldier. So, little things like that, you might have to go into a house, and some of the best ones I've ever seen. And I highly recommend you look for shows that show you this kind of thing. Like, maybe, The Haunting of, where Kim Russo goes through and tries to explain that ghost wasn't here for that. You missed the message. This ghost came through for this reason because it connected to your energy. You were going through this at the time, similar to what they were going through, and they were trying to help you because that helps your vibration and theirs, and they can level up, kind of, for all our gamers out there. They can level up to the next vibration, and it helps them. That's why you have a lot of suicides or people that went out as drug dealers or got shot, for a crime gone bad or something like that. Some bad choice they made. They'll hook up with a living energy that's about to make those same mistakes and try to help them through it. And these are earthbound spirits. They're so limited at their ability. They have them, but they're so limited in their understanding to connect with those abilities because they've not healed earthly yet. Imagine what they can do after they've crossed over. After they've crossed over and tasted that light and that healing and that forgiveness and that knowledge that they're allowed to have at that time. Yeah. And then imagine what they can do, come back. So again, in the ravine, we saw, spoiler alert, the lady come back and, do that bedside visit we always hear about, just to say, this is what I need, or this is what I want you to do, or I love you. And that's why so many of us get that. And I'm sure you saw some things with your NDE there, Anne, and Lynn and I are so interested in that and her visions and connections in at being a wonderful caregiver, nurse at end of life care. She saw it from that side. I'm very interested to hear a little bit about that, but I made you guys a little video. I think it's a good time if you want to get up and get, refill that sweet tea or that Jack Daniels, or you want some water.
I gotta go get my tea.
You need to go smoke. It's about 2 minutes, and I'd love for you to enjoy it and just lift your vibration and look at these wonderful things that Anne inspired me tonight. I hope you like it. Go ahead, sweetie.
Thanks.
Go ahead. Just a few minutes.
Okay. Ashley, take your bath.
Well, there you go, guys. I wish you a happy, happy new year. And I want you to start it off with love and light. And I want you to remember that the magic is out there. Don't forget the traditions of our elders. And, if you don't have those and you don't know what those are, make your own now. Leave your stamp here in this vibration on this earth, because I'm going to tell you something. I have a little theory that came to me yesterday. And you think about all these extra dimensionals and even other planets and because believe me, it's more vast than you could ever imagine. But so many seem to be coming back here because they've achieved this technical, advanced intellect, right? And they seem to have that down. But it seems almost like they miss the emotion. They keep coming back here to learn the emotion, to learn why we love, why we hold a cat, why we would, go through and cry over a dog, night after night after night, and try to help it and love it and care. They don't understand these things, how we love children and how we would give our own life to protect a child or protect something else, or why we would hug a tree and fight governments and communities and things like this and not cut that tree down, because everything has a life. And I think that in some ways, they've forgotten that in their advancement, and they come back to try to learn it again. And I think we came back here to go through it, and to go through these things and these emotions that aren't in other dimensions and other parallel universes and things. This is a special prison planet. It's the hardest one to reincarnate to. And you are a hero just for being here. And you're a double hero and probably a star seed for choosing to come back here at this time. You are definitely a light bearer and a light giver and a lover and a sinner, and probably midnight toker, if I know my friends. So I love you all very much, and I hope that brought your vibration up. And let's welcome back these lovely ladies. Hello. And I hope you like that. You inspired that video. I looked through your Facebook, and I hope I connected into some of your energy, the Phoenix.
You did.
Tell us a little bit about that group that you have there on Facebook. It's wonderful.
I started that after that very last near-death experience when I was in the hospital, and I had an old hag, that old hag syndrome where you're pinned on the bed and you can't breathe. And I was, along with my kidneys, I'm a diabetic, and I was in the middle of a DKA, which was part of the kidneys that attacked my kidneys.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so weird. I was sleeping, at least I was trying to go to sleep, and you ever like going to sleep and your body falls, like before you go to sleep, you get that. I get it like before, like your body's starting to leave, but it's not gone yet, and you wake yourself up.
Right.
Well, that happened. And when I opened my eyes, I think I was going to get up to use the bathroom or something, I couldn't move. And in the corner of the room, I saw the old hag. That's the only way I can describe it. And when I spotted her, she come at me, and I still couldn't move my eyes. I couldn't holler. I couldn't nothing. And before she got to me, I felt, and I seen out of my, around the room, all these shadows just come flying at me and over me and protect me. And when that happened, they told me to let go, to relax, don't fear. This is for you. Relax. And I literally went like on a ride. I was in so many different places at once. I saw things that happened before, things that were going to happen in my future, things that I didn't understand. Like at the time, I was going through a real depression, which is why my diabetes wasn't right. My kidneys working out, because I just really didn't care about much. I was very depressed, and stuff had happened with my husband and his family, and I was supposed to adopt this child that it didn't work out, and I was just really ready. I was like Kali Ma. I was on a destructive path. And in this dream, it sent me to it made me understand that people are the way they are, and I can't change them. But I almost like destroyed my marriage. I was Kali Ma, getting ready to step on the love of my life because of other people and things. And it really made me understand the simplicity of just being who I am.
Beautiful.
They don't, right. And when I woke up, I was a completely different person.
Wow.
And my health, my kidneys, all of a sudden, everything got better. During my pregnancy too, that near-death experience, that one was my kidneys and my liver both shut down. I was in a DKA when he was born. They rushed me by helicopter. I wasn't even able to hold him till he was like 10 days old. I myself wasn't even awake for 4 days. And during that time, I had all my relatives around me. I felt them in the room. I knew they were there. I was between worlds with the people that were in the room. I was talking to my aunt that died when I was 7. You know, she was like, I got you. We got you, you know, not to worry. But the thing was take care of myself. I needed to take responsibility for what I was doing and not to care about what everybody else thinks, that you need to be you and do you. Well, after the pregnancy, that's later on during the last one, but I haven't had the depression since that last thing either. I had the dreams that I had were like about Odin and Gaia and,
Wow.
and, what do you call it? Aliens, I guess you could say, you know, different things that I remembered growing up, different things that I thought I saw, but I wasn't sure if I saw it or not. Well, they showed up. They were all a part of it. And when I got home to my house and I was sitting out underneath this tree. Now, mind you, I moved into this house because this tree told me that I was going to live there. I was actually looking at the house kitty corner to rent when I spotted the tree out in the backyard, and it just literally, I stopped in my tracks and I told my husband we're going to move into that house. And that house got rented to somebody else. But that tree told me, no, you're going to live here. So I went home, and my kids and my husband, they know how I am. I just run with what's going on in my life. Well, a year later, my son called me, Mom, that house is up for rent again. And I rented it without even looking at it. I called the guy and I'm like, yep, I want to rent it. I went, met him at the house and signed the contract, and I moved in. Now that tree had such an energy that I know it was meant for me. Well, after that last awakening, when I had a choice. I needed to smarten up. My future that they showed me was with no legs, sickly, in a nursing home, or I took care of myself. I took responsibility. Again, it was the same messages that I just hardwood, you know, not paying attention, not taking care of myself, eating all the garbage that the world tries to feed you because it's cheap. You know, that is what was killing me.
Processed food, man. That's what they put here. And it's greed. It's so much greed. It's so much greed. And Lynn, I want to reach out to you and get your view on that whole thing. But again, I think they want me to say this because they keep giving it to me. That thing in 1923, she was talking about how things were changing. They said, now, you know, they say that women, there's a special razor now for women to start to shave their legs. And she says, and the guy laughs. He goes, what, are you kidding me? And she says, it's greed that's going to take us all down. She said, women are going to start shaving their legs because some razor company told them to. And then it's going to be their arms, and there's going to be something else because a razor company told them to. Something that they need that they didn't need before. Now, I'm not saying one thing or the other on that. I'm saying that they found a way to tell us that they knew when they started to see these progressive things coming in and these things that we're going to do stuff for, it was going to make us lazy. If you look back at anything that's truly Native American or tribal, will tell you that everybody in there had a job. Everybody in the Waltons had a job. Everybody in any of these big families that had nothing, that all worked together and got through the Depression. Or, you know, in the UK, the groups that came together during the bombings and the wars, you know, you name it, through centuries, villages worked together to get themselves through. However, most of the groups that made it, they knew that there was going to be elder needed care. Listen, in my culture, elders, when they felt like they didn't have anything else to give wisdom or help, or they couldn't do anything, they leaned against a tree or got on an ice, you know, thing and just willed themselves to die. And the Plains Indians just sat out there until, you know, they were done, but it was their free will choice because they knew they felt they didn't have anything else to contribute. What we do is we decide we're going to put our elders away because they don't have any. It's too much trouble. It's too much this, too much that. Now, I don't need somebody to call in here and want to come in and start yelling at me because I said not to put your elder away. Again, you have to make your own choices. I'm saying society made us think that way because it was never that way. You know, the elders were home to help take care of the kids. People cooked, everybody did their thing and worked together for the same unit. And I think we got to get back to that, even if we start out and move in, because right now we're trying to take care of each other in this chat, on this podcast, in this world. And the only people I think that came through whatever we just went through well were these warriors and the few that we could save that would listen. And then
every time I heard
here we go again.
It's not your time.
Yeah.
It's not
so
your
true.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's anything. That's, Daniel Brinkley. I don't know how many times he got hit by lightning. Whenever he's saying the same thing he said when he came back, we learn a little bit each time. And Lynn saw it on the other end. You saw people leaving and the loving ones to greet. Tell us what your vantage point of what she just told us about is, Lynn.
No, I agree with what all you're saying. I mean, there's really not much more to add to it. I mean, what you're saying is dead on, and I totally agree with all of it. So, people, they definitely do need to make some changes for the positive, because mankind is spiraling down. And like you had said too, that a lot of times, these things are put in our head, and there are some things on here that I could make mention of that we're not allowed to talk about, or we'd be kicked off of this thing. That again, Big Daddy comes to say you need this in order to, to survive or whatever, but it's all manipulation and control. And all these people line up like little ducks, to run in and go
6 feet apart
to get that 3 times over. You know, and all of those kinds of things. They just because someone tells them to do it, they do it.
Yes, and try to override common sense.
Yeah, they don't question it. They don't
change everything around. And then if you got on a plane and you went somewhere else, you saw how somebody else was handling, you'd see something totally different. You'd see something different over here. See, most of the people in here and that listen to this, we know that. And what we need to know is how to help others. Well, here we are. You're a warrior. You've been through battles. Right now, I would say you probably got you're squared away. If you got through this far, you're squared away one way or another, or you're getting it squared away, or you're with people that are getting it squared away, and you're doing the best you can, and you're just powering on.
That's true.
But what we're here to tell you tonight is this isn't it. This is it. I hate to say it, and I hate to belittle it, because it's certainly not a joke, because we came here, but in a way it's funny as all get out, because we lost all our memory. At least most every once in a while it comes back, your DNA memory and the lives you've had before, and little things pop out. Like I still don't understand why I'm not a blacksmith. I can't understand. I feel like I have to do that to fulfill whatever, so I don't want to come back and be a blacksmith. I've done just about everything else. It's like trying to do everything, but at the same time, we all feel this draw that I got to save get as many in the lifeboat as I possibly can. And the ones we want to get in the boat won't get in the goddamn boat.
Another thing I want to remind people is don't take big steps.
Oh yeah, little ones.
Because when you try to take big steps, you fall. The littlest steps. Every little thing that you change has great
rippling effect. Yeah, it does.
The slower you go and you understand each little step, the further you'll get along. If you try to jump steps, you're going to miss things. And then you go all the way back.
So true. And I think it's okay to just keep your head down and chill too. Bake cookies.
That's right.
Make shut the fuck up cakes.
The best
crochet.
Thing is nothing.
Garden. Do whatever. You keep doing what keeps you going. You be your center. Your center is connected to source. Your guides are listening. You might not be listening to them, but they're listening to you. Yeah. And then if you have that light and you stay as positive as you can, or you lift yourself by doing your whatever you do to lift your vibration, creativity, cooking, singing, whatever it is, playing guitar, working on a car, it doesn't matter. If it makes you happy and it's legal. So you're doing that. That light. This is the time where we are like grounders, and we let them come to the light. Be that old goat woman on the hill, and let them come up the hill. Stop dragging people, because it's taking your energy, and you're going to drown with them. So focus.
Yeah, and they don't learn anything if you drag them with you.
So true.
They have to put in the work. They have to make the investment to make it stick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, so true. And again, you can't just give it to them. And again, their consciousness might not be at that level we started out talking about. Is you're only going to understand what your consciousness is going to allow you to understand at this time. I think that's what Lynn means too. When you say you go over there and they don't give it to you all at once when you get there. They don't slam you with it, because it's too much to handle. The colors are so vibrant. The love is so overwhelming. The understanding such as The Ravine, I'm going to say it again. It's on YouTube. It's called The Ravine. It's a free movie with a couple commercials. That's it. And you can see it for free. And I guarantee you, for those who've seen it, back me up on this. It is something you will remember all your life. And I say to everybody who's seen this movie and understands what I'm saying right now, is the butterfly says you have beautiful eyes. And I know you do, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. Please understand that your spirits, your spirit guides and your loved ones send you messages all the time. I think they're coming hot and heavy now. I think that they're giving you atta-girls, atta-boys. I think you're going to see things like, yes, you're on the right track. Great, great, great. You might not think you're doing a good job, but please stop putting yourself down, because you're doing the enemy's work when you do that. Yes, I can. I will. I may not be able to accomplish this mile, but I'm going to walk that block. Take it small. Do what you can. And what you can't control and what you can't do, let it go. Forgive these people for not understanding. Forgive yourself for not coming up with the words. It's not you. It's their time, your time.
And also understand that not everybody is on your path. They don't have to follow your path. They have their own path, and you need to accept their path. If it doesn't ride with you, not everybody is going to be with you when you get there.
That's true. That's true. Or meant to be. Or meant to be. Or meant to be. Like my mom came through and said, I had to do everything that went again, every fiber of my being as a warrior mother. Forget mama bear. I mean, God bless mama bears. I love mama bears. I was next level. I'm warrior mama, because it's just, I had to fix it. And they said they will not learn if you fix this for them. You have to let them go through it. It's going to be drastic, but there's so many things. And she showed me a couple of things, like the ripples we keep talking about. One thing, reaction affects so many different people. So sit back now for this week, and I'll see, we will see it tomorrow night too. But sit this and try to see where you're at. Where's your center? What are you doing for you? Are you doing meditation? Are you doing whatever it may be that brings you that peace? Please do that. Please make sure that you're eating good food. Go back to some basics. I grew potatoes in buckets last year. There you go. And things are getting real high. I understand that, but maybe the family needs to change up things. Instead of having eggs and bacon every morning, throw in some oatmeal, throw in some stuff. See, bake some biscuits. Have come up with some of grandma's recipe. 3 ingredients, guys. Different things like that. Put some stuff up so you've got that. I've done what I can do. Get your lard candles, Ted. Crisco burns for weeks. I'm telling you, crayons, all kinds of things, and set everything. I have controlled what I can control in my environment. Now I'm ready to reach out, because honest to God, nothing is sadder than somebody that doesn't have their life together, giving somebody else advice how to run theirs.
Yeah. I know that's right. And it happens now, a lot.
Oh my God. I do it too. But it's, I've just got to the point where I shut down and I don't accept the energy, because the people I work with, the people I ride with, the people I shop with,
it took me 50 years to learn that, but I did.
They don't, and even when they come to me and ask me for advice, they don't quite get it. Like, how do I survive? Well, are you asking me if you can keep your boat in your country club, or are you asking how to feed 4 people on $25 a week? At the time, that's exactly what I was doing. You learn how to do it, and then be grateful for the things you have. We did a very small holiday this year. It was beautiful. We focused on what was important. We didn't get nuts, and we didn't offer explanation or apologies to anybody. We celebrated love, and we celebrated because I knew the light had to really be bright on that day, because there were so many opposite things going on that day. to counteract it with the evil that was going on. And he, guys, I'm telling you, it's awful. So we have to keep that light on, and we can't let things get in our cracks. I call them cracks in your windshield, because the dark side knows where those cracks are, and they'll push on them and push on them and push on them. And if you let them, your whole thing just shatters, and then you got to pick up the pieces again. So we know this. Don't let them do it. Catch it before it happens and go, I see what's going on here. Couldn't get my front door. You went in my back door. You know, and you put your light up and get your grounded back. Do what Ann says with your breathing, and Lynn with your focus, and you're meditating, and find your happy place, and you're doing just fine. You're here tonight. You got this far. You're doing great. And Lynn, you know, I love you, girl. Thank you so much for bringing Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, you're part of the family now.
Yeah.
What would you like to say?
I love this family. I love this family.
Can you feel the energy?
I can feel the energy.
I loved what you originally were going to call us, the bitches and stitches.
Bitches and stitches. That was my personal favorite.
I laughed. I sent Linda the message you sent me because I thought it was funny.
I figured we are going to be laughing all night, so I thought that was really great. But I woke up this morning, for some reason, I'm hearing that old Redbone song, "Hail, hail, what's the matter with your head? Oh, yeah." You know, and
that's
all
a great
day
song.
long. And I'm thinking, okay, come and get your love. So we came and got our love tonight. Anne-Marie, you're part of this family. You're welcome here anytime, love. We're going to give you, however you want to leave with this chat tonight. Tell us where we can get you, and you're going to be on again. We'll talk fae and dragons and tree spirits. This will be great.
Well, pleased hopefully sometime very soon on Dark Horse Paranormal, me and Lynn are going to be starting to have a show on Tuesday night.
Wonderful.
Yes. And we want to bring, you know, all kinds of people in, same thing, you know, like minds. We want to learn from each other.
Yes, that's what we're here for.
Everybody to, you know, maybe do some little card readings and teaching people, you know, how to
I love it.
Intent out in your candles and your crystals. And, you know, throughout the year, you know, the wheel's always turning, and there's always some new project that's a good time to work on throughout the year.
I would love the next time we get together, if we could do the crystals and gemstones. Let me know ahead of time. I'll pull some of the jewelry that I have that might be like blue lace agate. What I'd like to do is a show based on how to help us repower our love stone, our rose quartz, our protect ourselves, our amethyst, our black obsidians and tourmaline and things like that. I would love to give people tools to work with. And also how to maybe find their own stone, what resonates with them and what they need to work on. Again,
it
so big.
Is how you're feeling. You close your eyes and you just feel that vibe.
Absolutely.
And it's the weirdest thing, you know. And I still,
it's vibration.
I'll go home. It is. You go home and you look it up, what that stone is and what the meaning is. And it's like, well, no wonder I picked this stone.
I know. And it changes. It changes. Like people, you're not going to have that. You might resonate with one stone. Like I'm real big on onyx and hematite and of course amethyst. But, you know, I didn't realize why I was drawn to them. And then they'll change, just like your spirit guides, you know, throughout your life, because that's what you need to work on, or that's what you need protection from at that point in time, or healing in a specific spot. And it changes, just like, again, like spirit guides. And that's what, you know, you put in your medicine bag too, to stuff you work on.
Pay attention to the little things. There's no coincidence. Follow the synchronicity.
Absolutely.
When the synchronicity start and things start going chaotic, you know, there's something that you're not paying attention to. Turn around, go back, start over, and
get your baseline back.
Stop trying to get to the end when there are so many steps before you can get to the end.
Absolutely. Lindsay is very big on crystals too. A lot of people are in here. So if you guys throughout this week, or think about it tomorrow night, you want to DM me on a crystal that you would like us to focus on, I'll be learning along with. I know very little. I basically, got a little bit about it when I was making jewelry. And if somebody had an issue, I went back and found out about that stone, and that's what we made the jewelry from. But I learned a little like that. And I know you guys know so much about it, in the chat too. So let's do that, because what I want to give, at least from, January, February, we're going to Lynn's introducing so many wonderful people here. Dark Horse Paranormal is coming on.
And
We've
Greg
got so many.
He's
Greg,
in the audience as well.
Wonderful.
Greg,
Hey,
yeah,
Greg, we're going to get you on. We're going to get you on and get everything scheduled out, because I want to meet all these wonderful people, and I want them to be able to give their knowledge to help everybody here, so we can go out and take that knowledge and help somebody else, or at least help ourselves, so we can become stronger light workers and light warriors, because that's what we need now. We've already been through the basic training. This is the big guns now. Okay. And so, feel good about where you're sitting. You're right where you belong. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Anne Marie. You're going to come back on again soon. Lynn, I love you so much, darling. Tomorrow night I'll be here with Steve Stockton. I don't have any idea what we're talking about, but we never run out of things to say. Steve, I love you guys so much. Go, Steve.
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
each and everybody in here. Thank you to
you
all
too.
the mods. Please give us a thumbs up on the way out. Please share it if you know somebody that would like to have this. Please subscribe if you have not. Dark Horse, get with Lynn. She's having a hell of a time getting me wrangled into a calendar. But I just I want to get everybody in, and we will absolutely do that. We're all good. It's going to be exactly when it's supposed to. So I yield to you guys. Let me know when you want to come on, and I'll make it happen. Love you all. Bacon to everybody. Much love. As we're on our way out, I'm going to play the lovely music we had before. It's about 6 minutes, but I want you guys to have a nice chat, and I want you to leave on a very high vibration, and look at some beautiful pictures. Right tonight, the most beautiful things I've seen tonight is Anne Marie and the wonderful, beautiful face of Lynn here. You guys are beautiful lights. Thank you for coming into my life. Thank you, Lynn, for bringing her. And this is all connections. It's going to amp up now. Wow. Everybody's getting.
That's what we need to do. We need to find all the pieces to the puzzles and shine each other's light.
Do it all. Oh, thank you so much, Lindsay. Look at this. Thank you so much. Love to you all. Thank you, darling, for that super chat. Goes right into the show. We can bring you more shows like this. I love you, Lindsay, and I hope you're feeling good. I've been feeling them storms too, girl. Cat's claw. Get your raw garlic. Get your colloidal silver, and take care of Mother Nature, because she's the one that's going to keep you alive, I think, in the next couple of years. So take good care of her. She'll love you right back. Good night, everybody. We love you, and we are going out with a beautiful song. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Blessings, everybody. Thank you kindly, love. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, everybody, for all your super chat. Give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We need to get the word out there. We need to spread love. There's so much darkness out there. We ain't afraid of no dark. We got the light. And I got good friends all around me. Love you all. Bacon, love. Remember this. Life is short, but love is long. Go get 'em, like tonight's featured artist has been Chris Haugen, Haugan. You can find him on YouTube, Audio Library. Beautiful artist. Yeah, baby. Dive deep into that and get that all over you. This is nasty sweet, ain't it? Tap that foot, feel that groove, carry it through till all day tomorrow and all through the week. You are loved. You am somebody, and you're a light keeper. Don't let nobody blow that candle out. Love you all. Good night, gatekeeper.